the hat trick, trifecta, triple combo, the charm, my third Xena Convention, once again held at the Burbank Marriott Place Hotel. The first thing I looked for upon my swift check-in on Thursday evening were the Super Mario elevators from last year, and wouldn't you believe it, they were still there. Although one of them on my tower eventually got sealed off for repairs because it would go to one floor, return to the ground floor, and then go to the next floor that was pressed on the button pad. At the time, odd. In hindsight, hilarious. Registering for the convention was a breeze, especially after being mesmerized by this flippin' sweet chakram while standing in line. Thanks for that, Justin. Then something amazing happened. I reunited with friend of the channel Judy Kim, who was one of the panelists at last year's convention for the upcoming Xena documentary, No Apologies. After a fun time catching up, she then informed me that a spot had opened up for Adrienne Wilkinson's charity dinner. Prior to all of this, I had planned to go all out and attend this dinner since it was the big 30-year celebration. Problem was, it had sold out. And here we were, with a spot suddenly open, practically calling out my name. Moments later, the spot was confirmed open, and I actually got to dine with lots of Xena fans and 3 members of the Xena alumni, Stephen L. Sears, Brittany Powell, and of course, Yo Adrienne! The salmon and clam chowder were super good, and I also scored 2 prizes for knowing some Xena trivia, this killer Orphan of War mini pad, and some girly socks. And if that wasn't cool enough, prior to the dinner, I had discussed how I really wanted someone to have that Gabrielle cereal box from years past for sale at this year's convention because I had yet to get one. Well, guess who had one at this merch table to raise dinars for the victims of the LA fires? Yo, Adrienne, I did it! I also got these because of course I did. Kudos to the designer of the art on this pillow, very well done. I also would have gotten this cardboard cutout of Eve's mom, but apparently it wasn't up for sale. Crap. Still, my experience was off to a great start, and this was only pre-registration night. Big thanks once again to Judy for informing me about the open spot, and to Adrienne for allowing me in at the last nanosecond. Friday, the final day of January 2025, and the first day of the 30th anniversary Salute to Xena event. Brittany Powell welcomed us all, and our first guest was Paris Jefferson, the actress who portrays Athena in Season 5. She had a great Kevin Smith story and threw out an idea of letting Eve live if she could have Elena's live in exchange. It was great to finally see Paris in person after she was initially scheduled to appear at my first convention back in 2022. When I asked her about that at the vendor area, she told me a sudden illness caused the last-minute change on the very week of the convention. Yo, Adrienne! Shared the stage with Stephen L. Sears before his panel started to remind everyone about her charity items in the vendor area. It was a nice moment seeing these two on stage together after Sears left Xena to work on the Xena television series prior to Adrienne's first appearance in Season 5. Sporting a really cool Hercules and Xena staff jacket, Steve informed the fans that he and his wife Jessica were among the many who were forced to evacuate their homes during the LA fire. Fortunately, the home and all of their belongings were untouched. He then thanked all of the fans who reached out to him during that time and expressed how grateful he is to consider the Xena fanbase family. Who's cutting onions? He also plugged his latest book, Tales of the Above Ground Underground, which you should all go buy right now. Musetta Vander and Brittany Powell's panels were also entertaining, highlighted by Musetta's wish that Elena's could have been in more episodes, and a sudden but funny donation competition between each sides of the venue to help the LA fire victims. This continued while Hudson made her entrance, and looking back at all of the fans counting the money here is great. Hudson was as electrifying as ever, summarizing her latest trip to India and sharing a real nice video featuring one of the many people who has been helped by her charity of choice, the Ellis Foundation. Even more donations happened when Hudson put some of her convention apparel up for auction before the big ending. Would Hudson be able to do her Callisto scream 30 years later? Find out for yourself if you haven't already. My video of that moment is in the description below. After meeting fellow Tara fan Mandy near the elevators, who absolutely nailed both the Forgiven and Tale of Two Muses outfits, I caught a bit of the showing of Lucy Lawless's documentary on the late photojournalist from New Zealand, Margaret Moth. If you have not seen this documentary, beware. A lot of action shown is not for the faint of heart. Seriously, viewer discretion is highly advised. Friday's festivities concluded with another fun round of karaoke with Athena and her champion Elenis on stage with the participants. Did I go up there and sing? No, not yet. Day 2, Saturday, the first day of February. First thing I took part in was Hudson's freeform movement class, and let me tell you something. This was a welcoming environment where everyone had complete freedom to move to the music in any way that felt natural. Nobody's judged or made fun of, and this made it so much easier to simply enjoy being alive in that moment. After that class, I felt much lighter and more at peace with myself. Seriously, if this class is available at the upcoming 2026 convention, I highly recommend it. And don't be shy. There really is no wrong way of doing it. After thanking Hudson for the experience, I met fan of the channel, Dustin. It turns out we both took this class together, and he was real cool to meet in person. Thanks again for supporting my Xena content, Dustin. The official festivities began with another appearance by Jennifer Ward Leland, Boadicea in Season 3, and Zara in Season 4. Jennifer shared kind messages from Michael Hurst and Darian Tackle over in New Zealand, two guests who couldn't make their appearances at this convention due to work, and she also shared lots of Kiwi etiquette to those traveling to New Zealand for the first time, through conversation and through song. The latter moment is in the description as well. It was my second time seeing Jennifer at a Xena convention, and she was as fun to listen to as last year. And major props to the wonderful soul who dressed up as Gabrielle from the Black Wolf here. After some good breakfast, I returned in time to catch the Tim Amundsen panel. To my surprise, there was someone else on stage with him. You may have heard of her. Lucy Lawless! It was a real treat seeing these two on stage together for the first time, especially as someone who loves the interaction their characters had in Season 4's Devi. I posted a clip from this panel a while ago, so it'll also be in the description. From there, while heading out to get some lunch, another fan of the channel approached me. This time it was Jules, another great individual who decided to celebrate her birthday weekend in Burbank with all of us. She also does some amazing Xena content herself, these brilliant photo novels of a number of the episodes from the series. She also has some plans for her YouTube channel in the future, so I'll leave a link to that in the description too. Thanks again for being so nice, and for handing me this killer custom poster commemorating the event on Sunday evening, Jules. Jacqueline Kim's panel was next, making this the second time I've seen her at a Xena convention after her appearance in 2022. Jay spoke highly of Lucy Lawless and fondly recalled how easy it was to work with her during the Depth Saga from Season 3. all while Lucy was signing autographs in the back of the room. Cool moment. And then Catherine Morris took the stage. This was her very first appearance at a Xena Convention, and she shared her amazement at how much the show still resonates with its audience 30 years in. In between the Jay and Morris panels, it was time to get in line for a long-awaited photo op with Shiri Appleby. While in the main hallway, I passed by two ladies who stood in front of a phone that was recording, so I waved at the camera, thinking I'll probably show up in that footage somewhere later on. One of them, a brunette wearing a blue dress shirt, noticed me doing this and asked if I needed help with anything. I said no, I noticed the phone was recording, so I wanted to wave to it. She says okay, and then I find out exactly where I had to stand for Shiri's photo op. The line happened to extend right where those two ladies were, and it took someone else in line to make me realize something. This woman in the blue dress shirt was freaking Shiri Appleby. I haven't caught up on my Roswell episodes yet, so I completely didn't recognize her without that black hair from her two Xena appearances. So there I am, apologizing profusely to her for not recognizing her much sooner, but she was real cool about it. I thanked her for coming to see us, and from there the photo was taken. It was incredible meeting her in person, especially after discovering that this was her first ever appearance at a Xena Convention during her panel. Shiri discussed her memories of flying to New Zealand to work on Season 3's Forgiven at the tender age of 18, thanked everyone who wrote into the network during Roswell's run to keep it on the air, and shared her experiences thus far of working as a director in television. This was a great end to Saturday's events. But the day didn't end there. Shortly after the dance party and the news of Luka Doncic being traded to my Los Angeles Lakers shook me to my core, I asked fans in the lobby area if anyone had that Cards Against the Known World game that I played last year. And sure enough, the deck arrived. The opening rounds were played with Stephen L. Sears right in front of us, which was hilariously amazing. As the rounds progressed, my cards got better, and better, and better, and better. Needless to say, it was so much fun playing this game again. Thanks very much to everyone who played along with me, and to the provider of these cards at the convention. I still really want a deck for myself too, please. The final day, February 2. The event began with me finally getting a solo photo with Lucy Lawless, and meeting a very special someone. R.J. Stewart! The writer of many episodes and genius behind the Callisto character, made an appearance at Stephen L. Sears' vendor table, as Sears stated he would during his panel on Friday. Apparently, RJ had his doubts as to whether or not people would be interested in seeing him, but thankfully there was a whole line of fans who were as excited to meet him as I was. I thanked him for the 30 wonderful years of Xena, and he couldn't have been a nicer human being to talk to. Special thanks to Sears for encouraging Stewart to show up on the final day. Woo! Prior to the exclusive gold panel, I found this excellent Destroyer cosplayer from Season 4's A Family Affair. This was awesome. The gold panel this year featured Paris Jefferson, Musetta Vander, Yo Adrienne, and Stephen L. Sears, all of whom were great to listen to as they shared their own experiences in approaching jobs they are cast for. I uploaded a clip from this panel in case you missed it. From there, Ted Raimi kicked things off with his panel, and I suddenly had to ask him if he had any stories of working with the late Bill Nunn, the man who plays Robbie in the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man. I got to one of the microphones and asked away, but because the sound on this side was almost non-existent to those on stage, Ted actually invited me to the stage to ask him the question again. Yes, I got to go up there with frickin' Hoffman! And the view from the stage was incredible. I felt like Mary Catherine Gallagher up there. Superstar! As for Bill Nunn, Ted expressed how much he appreciated working with him and described him as one of the unsung heroes of character acting. Very classy response, which was great to hear as such a huge fan of the Raimi Spider-Man films. Thanks very much to Mandy and Judy for snapping these photos and the video of me on stage with him. Adrienne's panel was next, and she told us she was also evacuated from her home during the LA fires. Fortunately, her home and all of her belongings were preserved, including the huge amount of Xena memorabilia she had on sale to raise money for the victims of the fires. She let the emotions flow through her at the end when thanking everyone who contributed to the cause, and to everyone who's been so great to her every year she's made an appearance at a Xena Convention. Yo, Adrienne, we did it. Finally, The Rock has come back to Burbank. Renee O'Connor said forget this stage and spent most of her panel up close and personal with the fans. Seeing her running up and down to give out hugs and hold the microphone for people with questions was hilariously adorable. She also shared some news on the upcoming year for her House of Bards events, and I'm real excited to attend for the first time later this summer. From there, our two heroines reunited on stage once again. This was truly the most fun I've had witnessing both of them in person thus far. They sang Deep in the Heart of Texas again, a callback to one of the bloopers from Season 2's Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and someone decided to invade the panel in the middle of the excitement. Joxer appeared, making this the first time all three of these legends were on the stage at a Xena Convention at the same time. You know I did not miss getting clips of this. The final panel of the weekend was with Alexandra Tidings, who was a joy to see and speak with again for the third time at a Xena show. The whole experience concluded with a final goodbye to Stephen L. Sears, his wife Jessica, and RJ Stewart as I took some last-minute pictures of the vendor area. Sears will be performing in the House of Bards during the summer too, so if you have a chance to attend, this is the perfect time to do so. All in all, it's still overwhelming to contemplate how amazing this weekend was. It took me a while to get this out to you this year, due to all of the emotion that I've had and I continue to experience from being so lucky, not only to attend this year's event, but the preceding events from 2022 and 2024. In the process of attending each of these conventions, I've become an even bigger fan of all things Warrior Princess. It's been a thrill to get to meet the cast and crew the past few years, and an even bigger thrill to meet so many fans from across the globe. This is so much more than a television series for many of us. It's a celebration of life. Many thanks to Adrienne, Steve, Judy, Dustin, Jules, Mandy, Debbie, Ashlyn, Irene, Justin, Carmela, Alex, Cheryl, Sean, Atlantis, and everyone else I had fun with this year. The memories I've made with all of you are sincerely appreciated, and I'm excited for more of them down the line. Maybe at the Xenite retreat this August, which would be my first one ever? We shall see. But for now, thank you. Yes, you watching this right now. If you've made it here to the end, please let me know you have by typing the following in the comments section. 30 years of Xena. Until next time, be well and battle on, viewers.